18 string methods that we are generally going to use in future. To use these methods, we have two variables, username and tagline. So now if we try to access these two variables, username, it's all campus, and tagline is everything you need to become a software developer. Let's start with the first method, that is charAt. So charAt is a method that gives the character at specific index in the string. So we'll say username, and as we have talked in our previous video, as soon as we add a dot, we get access to a collection of methods, and one of the method is charAt. charAt accepts one parameter, that is the index on which you want the character at. So if we don't pass any parameter, by default it takes 0 as input. So that's why you're getting A, because the character at 0th index in username variable is A. But you can pass other parameter like 1, 2, 3, and you'll get the character at that specific index. Let's move on to the next method, toUpperCase and toLowerCase. So it's very straightforward. To convert any value into uppercase, we say toUpperCase and call this method, and we'll get the value into uppercase. If we have the value in uppercase, that is like hello, and we want to convert it into lowercase, we can just say toLowerCase and we'll get hello in lowercase. We'll move on to next three methods, that is trim, trimEnd and trimStart. So for example, we have a variable message, and message contains some extra spaces in the start, then they have hello world and some extra spaces at the last. If we access the value message, we'll see there are some extra spaces. What if we want to trim that value? So for that, we'll say message.trim. It will remove all the white spaces in the start and in the end. We are seeing hello world without any white spaces. The other two methods, trimEnd and trimStart, is very similar, but trimStart only removes from the start of the string, that is message.trimStart. So trim all the white spaces from the start, not from the end. Similarly, we'll say trimEnd, and this will remove all the white spaces only from the end. So here there are three trim methods. Trim removes the white spaces from start and the end. trimStart removes it from the start, and trimEnd removes it from the end. Next method is concat. Concat method is used for concatenating multiple string values. So here if we want to concatenate username with tagline, we can say username.concat and we'll pass string. It can be also multiple strings, like I want to concatenate it with space and tagline. It will use the value of username and concatenate it with empty space and tagline variable. If we want to make this sentence even better, we can say all campus is everything you need to become a software developer. So you can concat like this, or you can pass multiple number of parameters inside concat. Moving on to endsWith and includes. endsWith returns true or false based on whether that string ends with that specific character or value or not. So let's just see what it means. So we say username.endsWith, and we can pass any value like hello, and it will return false because username doesn't ends with hello. If we want to look at the value of username, and the value is all campus, so let's just try it with next value, that is US, because it actually ends with US, so it will return true. If we just pass S, it will also return true. But if we pass capital S, it will return false. Because JavaScript is a case sensitive language, capital S and small s is not same. There is another method that is very similar to this, known as startsWith. And it does the same thing that endsWith does, but it checks whether the string starts with some specific character or not. So we can say A, does it start with A? It does, that's why it's returning true. If we change this A into small case, it will return false. Next is includes. So includes does exactly what it means. You can say username.includes and whatever value you want to see whether it includes or not. So here we can pass A, it will return true. If we pass C, it will return false because the C is capital here. So if we pass C capital, it will say true. So includes returns true or false value based on whether the value or the character is present inside that string or not. Let's just try to look for any word. So we have a variable called tagline. We can say includes, whether it includes software or not. And we'll see it returns true because it does. Next is indexOf. IndexOf returns the index of specific character that you're looking for. So we can say tagline dot indexOf, and here we want to look at the index of software, and it will say the index of software is 32. So if you look for the index of software, you'll find it is 32. Say for example, you're looking for something that doesn't exist, say XYZ, then it will always return -1. So whenever indexOf returns -1, it means the string or character you're looking for doesn't exist in the variable or the string. So next is lastIndexOf. LastIndexOf does the same thing that indexOf does, but it looks for the last index of that specific value. Here we can see in this tagline we have multiple E, like here, we have it here, and multiple places. So if we say tagline dot indexOf, so indexOf gives the first character that it match, so it will give me 2. But if we say lastIndexOf, it will give the last index of that specific character or word. Next methods are padEnd and padStart. These two methods are used to add some padding to the string. Say for example, I want to add ... after all campus. So we'll say username.padEnd because we want to add some padding at the last. And the total character we want is 20. And we want to add padding at last with dot. So we'll say dot. So what it does is like it will add some extra dot and it will make it total of 20 characters. Similarly, if we want to do something like 21 and we want to say padStart, and here we want to add some extra zeros, total character we want is 5 and we want to pad with 0. So here the output will be 0, 0, 0 to 1. Next methods are repeat and replace. So repeat is used for repeating the same string multiple times. So we can say username dot repeat how many times? So 4. So it will say all campus, all campus, all campus, all campus 4 times. Replace does exactly what it means is like it will replace a character or specific set of characters from a string. So we can say username dot replace. Replace accepts 2 parameters. So first parameter is what do you want to replace, and that I want to replace campus with school. So now it should be alt school rather than alt campus. Similar to replace, there is another method called replace all. That is used for replacing all the occurrence of any specific character or words. So for example, I want to replace all the occurrence of O with an emoji. And if we press enter now, what will happen? All the occurrence of O got converted into a crown emoji. Let's move on to next 3 methods: slice, split, and substring. These 3 methods are mostly used for taking out a portion of string in some or the other way. So here let's use slice. So we'll say tagline. So slice accepts 2 parameters, the start index and end index. So I want to start at 0 and end at 21. So you'll see it will only give you all the characters from 0th to 21st index. Similarly, if you don't pass the second parameter, so second parameter is an optional one. So if you don't pass second parameter, it will start from 0 and go till the end. Say I want to start from 10th index and go till the end. So you can see the first 9 character has been removed and you are just seeing you need to become a software developer. Split is used for splitting a string into small chunks. Say, I want to split tagline with all the spaces there is. Say for example, everything and U has a space in middle. So I want to split tagline with a space. So we'll say split with and space. It will return an array. That array will contain all the values without in space. So you can see everything you need. These are all different words. Let's move on to the last one, that is substring. Substring is used for taking out a small portion from a string. So we'll say tagline.substring. This also accepts a very similar parameter, that is start and end. And you will see I want to start at 0 and end at 21. So it's very similar to slice. After looking at substring and slice, it feels that they are very similar. They are, but in some cases they behave differently. Say for example, if we say tagline dot slice, and here by mistake we are passing 21 and 0. So here what we are doing is the start index is 21 and the value is 0. That is not possible because it's coming backward. So slice will return an empty string, but if you do the same thing here in the case of substring, it will give you the same value, because whenever the of start is bigger than end, it swaps the value. There are other small advantages also. Say for example, here you want to start at 21 and end at nan. So nan is a value that is a number data type, and if we are passing nan, for substring nan is considered to be 0. But if we do that with slice, it will return an empty string and it will not work properly. So these are some of the limitations of slice that can be overcome by substring. So in this way we learnt about 18 string methods, one after another, with different use cases, and most of them are very easy to understand and use.